Hello and welcome to a very special Mac Stories Setups page update. I'm
Yes.
John Voorhees, and I'm here with
Federico Vitici. Hello, John. Hi.
Yeah,
that's
I
me.
made you say your own name. Yeah.
That is
So,
that's new for me. I'm usually not saying my own name, which is a weird thing when you think about it. But yeah.
well, look, we have just updated our setups page on MacStories.net, and that is where Federico and I have a laundry list of all the hardware
It is
and
a long
apps.
list. It's a long list of things that we use. Yes.
Yeah, honestly, it's more than a laundry list. This is a very extensive list that's broken down into categories of things. There's an awful lot of the production work hardware that we use there
Yeah.
for Mac Stories and for these videos and for our podcasts, but also fun stuff too, like more general productivity stuff that anybody can use, as well as video game hardware and just other tech that we use in our lives.
Yeah.
And we just did an update. We probably do updates 4 to 6 times a year because we're always testing out new things. And towards the end of the year, Federico and I have been testing the end of 2024. We were testing a lot of different new things. And so we want to share some of those here on video. So we do a little mini show and tell. And I should note that the links to everything are going to be in the description below. So you can go there to check out this stuff in more detail. There's also an article on Mac Stories where you can find more information, as well as the setups page, which will be linked in the description too. We do have affiliate links for some of this stuff. Just wanted everybody to know that. This stuff are all things that Federico and I have purchased ourselves with our own money, though. This is not like promotional in that sense. So,
And I should
out of the way.
I should note that going to the setups page couldn't be easier. You just go to macstories.net/setups. That's all you need to do.
That is a good URL.
And you will find at the very top of the page, obviously a photo with our setups, but also a changelog section with a collapsible drop-down menu where you can see all the changes, the things by date, all the things that we have removed and all the things that we have added. And then there's going to be a section for me and a section for John, and then multiple categories for each of us. That's how it works.
Yep, exactly. So today we're going to pick some highlights and just kind of show them off on video because we thought that would be a fun way to supplement what we've written on the website. So Federico, since I've been doing all this introductory talk, why don't we kick things off with you? Why don't you show off a little something?
All right, I have a collection of 5 things here. I'm just gonna pick the most ridiculous one, okay?
Okay.
And here I'm reaching over and I'm grabbing a handle. You may say, well, a handle of what? How about a giant battery?
Oh, I love it. I love it. A battery so big it requires a leather handle.
Look at this thing.
Or is it plastic? It's plastic, I guess.
It's plastic. So this is the Ugreen 48,000 milliamp per hour, 300 watt battery.
Oh my gosh.
And it's not just a huge battery with a handle. Look at this. It's like I'm carrying around the game. Remember the GameCube? The GameCube had a handle in the back. This thing has a handle at the top. But look, it's not just a battery. All right, you ready for the surprise, John?
Oh,
it's also a light.
It's a lantern. You can be like an old-fashioned guy walking through the streets of Rome. Just in case you need to warn somebody on your boat.
Yeah,
on your yacht.
I mean, why not? But look, honestly, the reason why I got this battery is that I realized there are so many times during the typical work day that maybe I'm home, Sylvia is home, we're both working in the living room, and she needs to top up her MacBook or her iPad Pro.
Sure.
And I need to maybe charge my iPad Pro or my iPhone. This thing has 3 USB-C ports. The first one charges, and you can recharge the battery via the first one, and you can also charge other devices. It's 140 watts, the first one. The other 2 are 100 watts each. And then you also got you got a couple of USB-A ports at 22.5 watts. This thing is perfect. Like, I used it for obviously charging my iPad Pro really fast. It also can charge a MacBook Pro from 0 to 100. It can obviously charge an iPhone so many times. I also used it to keep playing with my Steam Deck, but also something more, tasking than a Steam Deck. Like, for example, when I had my Legion Go with an eGPU, and I needed to charge the Legion Go, I could keep the Legion Go going for hours with this thing. So
nice.
It's not exactly portable. It's portable for the home, which is something that John and I always say. And it's got a fancy display here. that shows you the charge and a
Oh,
bunch of
very
other.
nice.
And here, isn't this sweet? Look at this.
Yeah, you got that
It's
little
it's
handle. I
almost
like it.
it's the size
Have
of
you-
my head.
you can take it out. You can take it out on your balcony and work out there and charge up out on the balcony
Yeah.
too. I'm sure. Yeah, that's the kind of thing that I do with a large battery. I don't have a battery quite as big as yours, but I have thought about those for the exact reason that you're using it. All right, Federico, I am going to present you with a
Okay.
trio of devices that kind of build on what you just showed off. And the first one
A
is
trio. Okay.
this Anchor battery right here.
All right.
Okay?
That's a
This
small one.
Anchor,
Okay.
yeah, it's a very small one. It's the Anchor MagGo power bank. It's a 10,000 milliamp hour battery. It has the Apple Watch puck right here. And you can use that for AirPods Pro or for your Apple Watch. You can flip it out and do it like that. Or you can, what I usually do is I usually just leave it lying flat and put my watch on there. And I found that it has this little strap too, but the strap is a USB-C cable. You pull it out like that, and all of a sudden you can just charge up your phone or whatever you want to charge that way. It too has a little screen. You can see right there. It says 100%
nice.
right now.
Okay.
And it'll show you, if you have it plugged into something, how much power it's drawing. What I found when I was at WWDC, oh, there's another USB-C port here that you can use to either as input or output for charging. I found it when I was at CES. This was really the only battery I needed because I had a couple of other things I'm going to show off in a second. But when I was walking around during the day, this was perfect for topping off my Apple Watch or my phone as I was, recording things. The other two things are that I've really fallen in love with GAN chargers, just wall chargers. This one's from Anchor, and this one is from Ugreen. And these both went to CES with me. The Anchor one is 100 watts, if I'm recalling correctly. Yes, it's 100 watts. It's very small and compact, very good for something like a MacBook Pro. And the Ugreen one, the reason I brought this is because it too has the folding out prongs, but it has 3 separate USB-C inputs there. And it has a total of 65 watts that it can output. Now, that's obviously a lot less than this 100-watt one, but not every device needs or can even take that much power. So what I find is this smaller one, the Ugreen 65-watt one, is perfect for doing the iPhone, an iPad, maybe the AirPods, whatever it happens to be. With these two relatively small wall chargers, I can plug them in my hotel room at night and charge up 4 different devices at pretty hefty wattage so that I'm good to go within a fairly short period of time. So that's my
Very
first thing.
nice. Very nice. I want to move from something pretty giant to something very, very small.
Oh,
Would you
I know what
believe
this
it?
is.
Would you believe it that this tiny thing is
Yeah.
a 1 terabyte USB-C flash drive?
Nice.
This
I
is
have
the
something similar to that, but not the same.
This is the SanDisk. I believe it's called the Ultra Lux. 1 terabyte with transfer speed, because you can get it in 2 versions. I got the fancy one, obviously, at 400 megabits per second.
Oh, that's pretty
transfer
good for
rate.
one of those.
Yeah.
See, look,
so,
I have one. I got one too. Look, this one flips around USB-A to USB-C.
Oh, nice. Mine is just straight up USB-C.
I
And it's
see
nice.
that.
It's got this grippy texture in the
Oh,
front.
that's good.
You can see
Yeah.
here. And it's just 1 terabyte. I got it. This is going to be the flash drive that I'm going to use to move. I have a Dropbox folder called
Yeah.
emulators with my entire archive of
Games.
digital games that I personally converted. That's been a task for the entirety of 2024. I have this archive. It's like 600 gigabytes. And so I'm going to store it here. And I'm going to move it all across my different handhelds, one of which I will mention in a few minutes. But yeah, this
All
is
right.
the SanDisk
Well,
1 terabyte drive.
Mine's 1 terabyte too, and I'm using it for a similar purpose. But what I have been using this for is that for a lot of older games, reading off of one of these discs is perfectly fast enough for
Yeah.
playing games.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I'm using it connected to a Mac Mini, an M4 Mac Mini, and it's going to be playing some retro handhelds on the Mac Mini.
Nice.
All right, so this next thing is very CES too. You may have seen our video that Brendan Bigley and I did where we sat on a couch in my hotel room
Yeah.
and talked about what we saw. And the way that was recorded was with this stuff. First of all, this is a Manfrotto tripod.
Okay.
And this is a MagSafe connector for an iPhone that is made by Moment. They screw together like this.
Oh, okay.
All
so
right,
you
so-
attach the MagSafe on top of the tripod.
Yeah, so here you have it, the tripod with the Moment thing
That's
from,
clever. Okay.
and then you just
Oh.
put your phone on there, right?
That is a satisfying click. Okay.
Yeah, it's a good call. Oh, this is a very, very strong magnet. So you do that, and so that alone is enough to do the kind of recording I was doing. I was using Final Cut Pro camera,
Yeah.
and we were doing more than that though, because I have this, which is a 2 terabyte SSD drive.
2
from-
terabyte. Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
from Lexar. So the thing with ProRes video, which actually I didn't shoot at CES, which I'll explain why in a minute, but if you want to do ProRes video, literally with this iPhone, if I switch it to ProRes, it'll say I can record for like 7 minutes because it takes so much space.
Wow.
So you need an external drive. So see how it fits there on the bottom of the iPhone? It is a perfect little thing for doing outboard video recording. But it's more than that, because you can also take that out and use this little hub. This is also from Lexar, and it has a little right angle plug for USB-C in the bottom. And it goes in like that. Well, look at that. I put it on the screen side. It goes on the back side, and I have a case on, which doesn't really work with a case, which is not good. But that's a drawback. But there you have that like that. And then you plug in to that hub, you plug in the 2 terabytes. So now you've got the back of the phone completely covered at the bottom, but you can still record. You still got room for the MagSafe thing. And you also have on the end of the hub, I'll try to show that off here too. See, another port.
Yeah.
So in that port, you know what you put in there, Federico?
I don't know.
You put in your receiver for your
Oh
wireless
my
microphones.
God. You keep adding things to that phone.
Turn it into a robot. So this is the DJI Mic 2. This is the receiver. It plugs into either just the bottom of your phone or the little hub that I just showed off. And the microphones are these. They're very tiny. They have a magnet or a clip that you clip them onto your shirt.
Oh, that's
then-
good. That's
And
very good.
and that's what Brendan and I did. We each had one of those kind of like right about here beneath our collar. as
so
we
that's how
spoke.
that video was put together.
Yeah, that's how
Oh,
I did
that's
it. And
very nice.
And the reason I was mentioning that I didn't do ProRes is because I had, I think, 10 megabytes per second up and down in the hotel room. It was terrible.
Not good. Not
It
good
was
at all.
really bad. And you know, I mean, you're recording video. We recorded for like 40 minutes, and if I had done that at ProRes, it would have been gigabytes. As it was, between the two of us, I think I had I think I had like 3 or 4 gigabytes of data as it was in 1080p. But I used Final Cut Pro on the iPad to punch up the sound a little bit, isolate the voices, get rid of some of the hotel room reverb. It works really well with that. Cleaned up the video as best I could. And then I uploaded it to Dropbox and did up-resed it to 4K on my computer at home in North Carolina, coast to coast, because I couldn't really do that in Vegas and then upload it to YouTube because it would have taken like probably 12 hours to upload it. So I uploaded it from my home remotely from Las Vegas.
You're so efficient. I love it.
So, Federico, the thing about this is there may be people who tell you that recording in 1080p and recording on an iPhone is not good enough.
Yeah.
And you and I are both perfectionists.
Yes.
But I have found that with video production, especially in the short time that I've been doing it, is that perfect is the enemy of good. And if you want to get this stuff out, you really need to find a simple solution. And while I am dangling a lot off of an iPhone here, all this stuff fits
You
into a tiny space in a sling bag that I took with me. And it's perfect.
That is true. That is
It's
true.
perfect. It's very, very small, very, very compact, and it does a good job. So between the hardware I have and the software that I was using, I think the video turned out pretty well. In fact, I would say that the thing that was made harder with that video in Vegas was not the equipment I was using. It was the fact that we were in a dimly lit hotel room.
I was gonna say the next thing you gotta look into as yet another accessory that you can dangle off your iPhone
that exists.
must be a light. It's gotta be a light.
It exists, although I don't think that any portable light would have been enough to really get good lighting in this hotel room. Hotel room at nighttime is just not
tricky. It's tricky.
It's tricky, and we did the best we could, but it was not the best environment for taking video, to begin with. But yeah, I was pretty happy with it. The way it turned out. All right, you're next.
I got 2 more things that I want to show off, and both are media related. And I'm gonna lead the first one with a hot take.
Good.
I think this works well on YouTube. I think this Android tablet is a better iPad mini than the iPad mini.
Oh, those are fighting words right there.
And this is the Lenovo Legion. Now, this is gonna have 2 different names depending of which version you got. In the Western market, it'll be known as the new Lenovo Legion Tab, I believe. The Chinese name, this is the Chinese version that I got from a website called Gistop. You can also find it, I think, on AliExpress.
Mm-hmm.
In the Chinese market, it's known as the Lenovo Y700. This is the 2024 model that sometimes, for whatever reason, you may also find as the 2025 model. Now, 2025 literally just began. This is the 2024 model.
I was going to ask you because I saw the 2025 one online.
I don't know.
And I thought, is this different than what Federico got? No, it didn't look like it.
It's not. So this is, this is a 8.8-inch tablet.
Yeah.
Running Android. Here it is. I'm gonna put in my passcode.
Is that 16:9?
I believe this is a 16:10. I want to say
16:10. Oh, okay.
maybe.
Yeah, it's a little bit different size.
This is my home screen running Niagara Launcher on Android. Now I got this tablet because I love Android-based emulation for retro gaming and older consoles. This thing has a Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 system on a chip inside. It's a beast. This thing can run up to PS2, GameCube, upscaled like to 4, 5x, no problem. I haven't tried PlayStation 2 emulation yet, but I will because I want to play Eco, which kind of a shame to say that I never have. But I love this tablet for a couple of reasons. I think the emulation aspect alone makes Android a more compelling operating system as a media device than iPad OS. If only by virtue of being able to install things like Citra for 3DS emulation, or Drastic for DS, or Dolphin with JIT for GameCube and Wii emulation, up to PS2, and I don't know if there's an Android version of the PS3 emulator. I don't think there is.
I don't know.
But also I think that when it comes to like other media consumption tasks, for example, I was using Spotify. I was listening to music on Spotify on this thing.
Sure.
And I really love how the Spotify Now Playing widget is so much better on Android than on iOS. It's got a beautiful animation for the album artwork. It's got multiple tappable buttons. It's really nicely done. Or, to give you another example, I have on this tablet USB-C ports in either orientation. There's one here, and there's another one here.
Shocking.
Shocking, I know, multiple USB ports. What an idea. So this means that if I want to emulate DS and 3DS in portrait mode, I can attach my GameSir G8 controller on this side. But if I want to play PSP emulation, for example, which I'm also upscaling at 5x, I can put it in the landscape port and I can play like this. Now,
perfect.
I really think this tablet, I wouldn't recommend getting the Chinese version like I did, although I gotta say, shout out to Gistop. A really fast shipping with DHL. I got it in just a few days. Wait for the international version. It's going to be called the Lenovo Legion Tab, because when you get the Chinese version, you have to uninstall all of the Chinese language stuff. You got to manually install the Google Play Store. It can be a little daunting. At first, I had to follow a tutorial. It's totally doable, but I will probably wait for the proper Legion Tab. But yeah, I've been loving this as a media tablet.
Oh, that's great. I think the Legion Tab, the international version, is coming out around June, is what I think I saw from the announcements
Okay.
from CES. So yeah, I like the white too. I think the white looks really nice in
Yes.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that's
Yeah.
your whole aesthetic too,
Yes.
but
Yes.
I like it particularly on that one. All right, what else do you have for us, Federico?
I just wanted to finish things off with another white device, which is my limited edition Steam Deck. The limited
Ah, that's
edition,
so
the
nice.
limited edition Steam Deck OLED. I believe I was playing 1,000 times Resist. Yeah,
Okay, oh there
I
you
was
are.
playing 1,000 times Resist. These are, yeah, this is the white Steam Deck. As you can see, I have the Deckmate accessory. This is the
Yep.
Deckmate. Also, the Snow White, I think it's called Snow White version of the Deckmate mounting accessory. This time combined with the Deckmate kickstand. So that allows
Oh,
me to have a kickstand for the Steam Deck. And yeah, it's a white Steam Deck with light gray buttons, and yeah, it looks nice. I really wanted it. It goes well with all my other devices. As you can see, I have a bit of a thing going on. So
yeah, you do.
yeah.
Including the camera that you're recording with is
My
white
camera,
as
this
well.
very
That's the
camera
Sony
here,
camera.
you cannot see it, but it's white. So
No,
yeah.
yeah, I don't want you to show that off. That would ruin the whole video.
Well,
But
how well I would need to stand in front of a mirror, I guess. Yeah.
you would have to buy a second camera, Federico. That's what you need to
Well,
do.
no, obviously, no. There's a better way to do this. I guess I can just do this, and you can see the
Oh,
camera.
there you go. There you go. Yeah, that's the Sony camera that I forget the exact name of it, but it's in our
The
article.
ZVE1 Mark II.
Something
Probably
Mark
making
II or
this
Mark
up.
III?
No, Mark
It's-
II. It's Mark II. Yeah,
Oh, okay. Yeah. That Sony, come on. Work on your naming conventions.
I know, right? I know.
Like with the headphones and everything. They do this with all sorts of different
From the
devices.
company that brought you the XM005 comes the ZVE. No, it's the
Exactly.
ZV. Oh, I got it. It's ZVE10 Mark II.
Okay, that does sound right. I
That
just
makes
saw it
it
in
better.
the article earlier today. Yeah, that makes it a lot better. Anyway, if you can't remember that, you don't have to, because you'll see a link to it in the show notes below, as well as in our article on macstories.net. I think we're going to wrap it up there, Federico.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing everything you brought to this very special video today.
Oh, thank
we
you.
will talk to everybody later. Bye-bye, Federico.
Talk to you soon.